Hi there. Do you start to feel unsteady? Do you feel like you're falling a lot? Do you lose your balance? So I'm talking today about our balance, and I'm going to be giving you 3 tips to improve our balance. So we all know that as we get older, we really want to be focusing on our balance. I'm Karin from Karinyogalife, and I'm going to be sharing with you some tips to get stronger, get more flexible, and to support our balance. So what is our balance? So our balance is affected by a couple different things. First of all, it's affected by our eyesight, it's affected by our inner ear, what's going on in our inner ear, and it's also affected by our strength and flexibility. So our strength and flexibility is one area that we can really focus on in our yoga practice. And there are 3 areas in particular that are really important for our balance. So the first area is our feet. We want to be strengthening our feet and keeping our feet nice and flexible. And this includes our ankles. So our feet and our ankles, we want to keep strong and flexible. Oftentimes, we may not realize it, but our ankles tend to get weak, which really can affect our ability to balance on multiple surfaces, or if we're falling, we want to be able to catch ourselves. So we want to make sure that our feet and our ankles stay nice and strong and flexible. The second area is our legs and our hips. So our legs and our hips, again, really important for our balance. I'm going to be showing you some exercises today or some yoga that can help to strengthen our legs and our hips. And then the last area, of course, I talk about this all the time, is our core strength. So our core, our front body, our back body, our side body, that area of the body really is so important for so many different things. We want to keep that area as strong as we possibly can because that, again, is really important for our balance. So I'm just going to scoot back and show you a few yoga stretches and exercises that we can do that are super simple, super easy, quick, that you can do, as often as you can. Try to incorporate them into your life to strengthen our balance, because we know as we get older, the tendency to fall increases, and we definitely don't want to be falling. So I'm just going to scoot back and show you a few simple, easy exercises that we can do. So the first one is we want to sit up nice and tall, like this, and just have the legs stretched out in front of you. You can actually do this sitting on a chair also. You don't need to be on the floor. You can do this in your bed. You can do this lying down. I'm just showing you like this. So we want to be focusing on the feet and the ankles. So if you're sitting on the floor, you can just bring the feet back towards you, flexing the feet. This stretches the whole of the back of the calf, it stretches the feet, and then you want to spread your toes. Spread your toes as wide as you possibly can, stretching all those little muscles in the toes. And let's wiggle the toes. So let's just wiggle the toes as much as we can, move them around, spread them apart. Basically, it doesn't really matter. We just want to be moving the toes. Spread them apart, scrunch them up. So we're just spreading and scrunching the toes like this. Spreading and scrunching, spreading and scrunching, spreading and scrunching. I like to do things about 10 times each, just to make sure that I'm really giving them a little bit of exercise and movement. But if you can't manage 10, you can do 5, you can do 8. Whatever you can manage, any movement is better than no movement. So we're starting with the toes. We're just spreading and scrunching the toes. If this hurts, again, don't do it, or just do it really slowly and gently. All right, so after that, we're just going to point and flex the feet. So we're just pointing and flexing. So the tops of the feet reach away from you, and then bring the balls of the feet back. So we're just moving the feet. Just move them again as much as you're able, nice and slow. You're definitely going to feel this in the ankles, in the feet. This is stretching and strengthening all those little muscles down there. So again, maybe 10 times or whatever you're we move on, we're going to circle the ankles. So we're going to circle the ankles around in one direction. Again, just making little circles. You can always start small and make the circles bigger. So we're circling 10 times in one direction and then 10 times in the other direction. So we're really getting the circulation going on down there, keeping them nice and strong and mobile and flexible. And the more that you do this, the better you'll feel. Okay, so that is the one I like a lot for our feet and ankles. We do this in pretty much every yoga class that I teach. The second one is really easy. I'm not going to show it to you because I think we all know what it means to come up onto our tippy toes. It's called calf raises, or in yoga we say it's a toe stand. All you're doing is you're basically standing up nice and tall, holding on to something. If your balance is, a little off that day, you can hold on to a chair, you can hold on to a countertop, but you want to make sure that you feel stable, you're holding on to something, and all you're doing is coming up and down on the balls of the feet. So just coming up nice and slow, as high as you can go, and then lowering back down to the floor. Again, you'll feel it in your ankles. If your ankles are weak, you might find it a little challenging. Just do as many as you can. If you can't do 10, start off with 2. Work up to 5, work up to 7, and then eventually I'm sure you'll get to 10. So again, you can incorporate this into your day. You can incorporate this into, your bathroom routine when you're brushing your teeth. After you're brushing your teeth, you can just do 10 calf raises in the morning and in the evening. It really is awesome for strengthening the entire body. It strengthens all the muscles in the legs. It strengthens the core. Be mindful of standing up nice and tall. So that's the second one that I really like for strengthening our feet, strengthening our ankles, but again, it works the whole lower body. And then for the hips, there are a couple different ones you can do for your hips. A lot of times we don't think about these muscles on the outside of our hips, which are really important for stabilizing our pelvis, this whole area down here. And a lot of people have weak muscles, tight muscles along the outer part of their hips, their IT band coming down the side of the leg. So I'm just going to show you one super simple strengthening exercise that you can do for your hips. Again, you can do this lying on the floor. You can even do this in your bed. So we're going to come onto our side. So you can come onto your side like this. You can either have the hands in front of you, supporting you, or you can come all the way down on the floor like this. So I'm just going to stay up like this. You want to be having the hips stacked one on top of the other, the feet stacked one on top of the other, maybe flexing the feet. Pull the belly in so you're engaging your core, and all you're doing here is lifting and lowering the feet. So lifting and lowering, but the whole leg really. So you're lifting and lowering, maybe 10 times on both legs. You'll definitely start to feel it up in this area. Again, if it hurts, just take it easy, don't do it, or make the movement smaller. You can just lift and lower a little bit here, and then as you go along, maybe you can take it up higher. So we do 10 on each leg, and if you do this consistently, you'll definitely build strength in this area. Again, you want to be keeping your belly in, keeping this whole area engaged. The other thing I really like, which is useful to have, is a band. So a band you can use to do lots of different things, but I'm just going to show you one quick thing that my physical therapist actually recommended for strengthening the hips. You take a pretty light band and you put it around your thighs, so right above the knees, if you can see, right above the knees. And we're going to do what they call clam shells. Again, coming down on your side, you have the knees bent. And again, you can come all the way down, and you're going to keep the ankles together and just open the knees away from each other. So keeping the core engaged again, we're just opening and closing the knees so that, again, you'll feel it right up in here. Super, super effective at strengthening that whole area. So again, maybe 10 on each side. If you can't manage 10, just start with wherever you're at. You can start with 5, you can start with 2 wherever you're at. So I really like these little bands. They're super inexpensive. You can do lots of things with these bands. And then the last thing, again, core. Core, really important. My favorite core exercise for strengthening the entire core area is what they call bird dog. We do it in yoga. Again, coming onto hands and knees if you're able, and just bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, stacking the hips right over the knees. And there are a lot of different variations of this. You can simply stretch out one leg, lift it off the floor. You can stay here, but pull the belly in. So engage the core. You're strengthening the legs, you're strengthening the core. If you're okay here, if you feel stable, you can take the opposite hand away, pull the belly in, maybe hold for 10 breaths. Just breathe here. And if you're okay here, then we move with it. Inhaling, reaching out. Exhaling, bringing the elbow and the knee together. So inhale, reach. Exhale, bring it together. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee. So those are pretty challenging. So if you find you can only do 1, 3, 5, whatever, doesn't really matter. Just do what you can, and trust me, after you do those for a while, you'll definitely feel a lot stronger in your core. So see if you can really incorporate these into your day. You know what I always say, small sustainable steps lead to big results. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Again, 3 important areas just to summarize for improving our balance. Our feet and ankles. 1, our hips. Well, the legs and the hips really together. And then lastly, our core. So those 3 areas, if you work on strengthening them, I think you will find that your balance feels more sturdy and steady. So just to remind you, I have a free community class coming up next Saturday, 10 o'clock Central Time, Jamaica time. Be a 30-minute practice, yoga for joint pain. If you haven't registered yet, please register. We're going to be doing some of these poses next week and a lot more. So thank you so much for listening.